to know about the means test? Most folks I speak with are interested in the means test because they want to qualify for a Chapter 7 and avoid having to file a Chapter 13. The presumption here is that a Chapter 7 is somehow better than a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. While the notion that paying nothing is better than paying something has a superficial attraction to it, I can tell you from about 30 years' experience that Chapter 7 is not always the best answer to somebody's financial problems, even if they qualify for Chapter 7. Even if people qualify for Chapter 7, they're sometimes better off filing a Chapter 13. And this is because there are so many things that can be done in a Chapter 13 that are simply impossible to do in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. The most common example would be the individual who qualifies for Chapter 7 wants to keep his $20,000 automobile. The payment on this automobile, we'll say, is $526 a month because he's got a 24.99% interest rate, and this is a real interest rate that I see rather commonly. The car's been financed for 6 years, so the consumer is going to end up paying $17,900 in interest on this car. I can take the same car and pay it off in a Chapter 13 in 5 years at $375 per month. The savings here is $15,402. Wouldn't the consumer be better off filing a Chapter 13? Is a savings of $15,402 a good idea? You tell me, is Chapter 7 better for this particular individual or not? The means test is full of gotchas and things that can come up and create unexpected problems. This is how the substantial abuse test actually prevents people who pass the means test from filing a Chapter 7. The means test results are sometimes unexpected. I've personally, through extensive pre-bankruptcy filing planning, been able to file someone who made over $100,000 a year in a Chapter 7. The case was approved with no difficulties whatsoever. I've also seen people who passed the means test with very limited incomes be forced into filing a Chapter 13 by the United States trustee, even though the amount that was paid to the unsecured creditors was extremely small, maybe 1%. Strange but true. Even if you pass the means test, there's a substantial abuse test. The law that permits the UST, the United States Trustee's Office, to oppose your Chapter 7 even if you pass the means test. So you say, I passed the means test, but I can't file a Chapter 7? The theory here is that, all things considered, even if you pass the means test, but you really do have enough money to pay something back to the unsecured creditors after you pay your normal living expenses, if there's enough to pay a meaningful dividend to the unsecured creditors, then you're going to have to do that in a Chapter 13 in most cases. You'll end up paying a small percent, but it's better than nothing, according to the United States trustee anyway.